Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Afarmers Hot Breakfast Show with me, Masike Munto.
Joan Nyambura.
Thank you so much for tuning in this early morning. At least today it's not that chilly.
Yes.
It's not that cold, as you can see. Joan can tell us that today is not that cold.
Yes, it's not.
And we are glad that it is not cold. Joan, how is your morning?
My morning is okay. I woke up well. I've gone to work early. Anyway, here we are. Thank you. How was your morning?
My morning is perfect, and I am glad I'm here today. It's Thursday. Yes, the week is almost coming to an end, and I'm happy. Yes, thank you for tuning in from Monday till today, and we're glad that you're actually here, and we're excited that you actually take your time to tune in every single morning into the Hot Breakfast Show. Yes. Joan, mfikaje hapa? Today my guide hakuniangusha, so
leo kuko na matope.
No, leo kuko na matope.
So
it was perfect.
Unless alikuwa na other ulterior motive hizi kuangusha.
No. Actually, I arrived here very early because at least today it was not raining. Yes, but the weather is still a little bit cold, and at least we're here.
Yes. And
So
today's Thursday.
Yeah, and today's Thursday. Today's a TBT Thursday. So tell us. Today, I don't think if I actually do have a TBT.
I think also I don't have one.
You don't have one?
Share. Imagine I don't
Sad.
have one. I've been thinking actually the whole time, and I still don't have one I can share. Yes.
So today is Throwback Thursday, and I'll be telling you my throwback. I have so many stories, but the problem is once I tell you a story, Joan actually laugh at me after we get out of here, but it's fine. It's allowed.
On a serious note, today I will not.
Today you will not, you sure?
I will not.
Okay, I'm going to give you a TBT. So tell us, how is your morning like? It's early. Tell us where you are and where you are listening us from or watching us from, and we'll be glad to hear from you. So don't forget to join us through all our social media platforms. That is Afarmers Media on Facebook,
Afarmers Media on YouTube. We have a club, Africa Farmers Club on Facebook, before we forget that one.
Yes.
And then we have at Afarmers with a Z and an underscore on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, so those are our social media handles. We are also in LinkedIn. You can find us at Afarmers Media. Thank you so much for taking your time to actually tune in this early morning, and we are glad that you are here. You can also call us via our call number, that is 0700-293031, and we will be glad to help. You can visit us. We like visitors very much. We like visitors. So if you are in a position to actually do visitors, we'll be glad to host you. Just call that number and you'll reach us via that number. We are located in Kajiado County 034. Yes, and that's where you can find us. So if you are around Kajiado or you in a position to come to our farmers, you can actually come visit us. I told you we do like visitors a lot. Yes. So Joan, I want to tell you my TBT. Today's throwback. I wish I had a picture. Last time we told our viewers to actually tell us their TBT and share their TBT. You know, you look at some pictures or you look just a few years back and you're like, no, this cannot be me. Like I wasn't looking like this, or this is not how I was. So yeah, so share your TBT. We won't laugh, and we will repost it here, and we will acknowledge you as our loyal viewer. Yes, as we share your TBT. So I remember this is not but now in high school. Now this is in campus. You know, with campus, there's a lot, and there is no, you're not a child anymore, and there's all this freedom that comes with you being in campus. There's this freedom that comes with you being in campus. So I remember one time, first time. Now this is me remembering what I used to do. You see, in school there are different places where there's meals. So there's meals, and for me personally, I was really afraid of going to go and buy meals. I think I was naive. So when I look at, there's this picture that was taken, I think I'll share it with you. There's this picture that was taken of me when I was going to buy food.
Okay.
And I was tiny and small, and people here are like huge, and you look like a baby, like you look like you are lost. So I'm going to share my TBT of what really happened. If I go past that, John is going to laugh at me, but I will finish for you that story of what happened, but I'll share the picture. Yes, I will finish for you that story.
Afarmers host and leaving me hanging with your stories. I do not understand. What do you do that to me?
I will share that story. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll share.
Anyway.
Yes. So thank you so much. You want to go into the traffic updates? Tell us how your morning is like. And the other day we were talking about our viewers taking care of themselves and actually driving safely to wherever you are going, and also having a roadworthy car. Yes, that's just for your safety, not even a matter of maybe inspection or something, just for your own safety, because a car sometimes can really disappoint you. Maybe you're going somewhere and it just breaks down to the point of you don't have any other option unless taking it to the garage. So just take care of yourself as you drive on these roads. Just be careful, drive slowly until you arrive to your destination safely. Yes, that's one thing that we actually do insist. Apart from other things that we insist, your safety also matters to us, because you are important and you too matter to us.
Yes, that is true.
Yes, so onto our roads this morning, onto our traffic updates. I want to go to Mombasa Road. Mombasa Road is an extreme spot because the road is actually clear, so people are driving like crazy. I was reading a tweet the other day. Someone was saying that we need to, like, there's a way that you move from town city center all the way to Mlolongo in less than 15 minutes because of the expressway. Like clear. So Mombasa Road is like really clear. Alafu Muthaiga is moving really slow. Thika Road today is clear. Actually, it looks suspicious. When you're used to it.
There is a thing I realized. Even
but
here,
it's almost end week, so
even here in Kitangela, there is no traffic.
There's no traffic.
So
I don't know. There's a thing with almost coming to a weekend.
And there are no people.
People are actually going. Is it Sunday?
When you're coming to work, did you see a lot of people the way we see them every day?
No, not really.
Exactly.
Actually, what's happening? People are going somewhere to me actually. So there's a tweet that's saying, who is this person who allowed these matatus to form a business station at the junction of Moi Avenue and Kenyatta Avenue, making wrong turns? Actually, there's a stage of matatus around Kenyatta Avenue and Moi Avenue, and it's actually causing traffic and making people have wrong turns, because unajua unafika hapo unachanganyikiwa.
Yes. Actually, what I understand from that is that it's not there usually.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's it for our traffic today. There's nothing so much, like, because the roads are clear this morning, but from Muthaiga, yes. And actually, one thing I came to realize, I love how the Mombasa Road has been named. Like, you know where you are and which area exactly are you in Nairobi. Yes, that's important to their labeling. They actually did quite a good job. Yes, and that's all we have for our traffic updates.
On the same thing, I have something I'm looking forward to. Do you think the expressway will have traffic?
Of course no. It won't. Maybe it won't have traffic. And I think one thing I know is Kenyans are Kenyans, and not so many people who are going to use the expressway. People will be like, you know what Watalipia expressway, so me I will remain on this other road. Yes, why should I pay? And most people are going to pay for the expressway. But I don't think if it's most people are going to use it, unless you are like a little bit in a rush, or maybe you're going somewhere. I think that's the only way that you can.
Let us wait and see. I cannot wait to see that.
Yes,
it's something that has been on my mind, and I feel like I really want to see what will happen.
Yes. So there's a very sad story that is actually trending today. We have body of an athlete called Mutua.
Wow.
She's 28. She was murdered. Yes. She was murdered because her body was found in her house in Lily's estate in Iten. So the story is that the DCI in Iten, led by Detective Andalo Munga, said police are treating towards Ethiopian lover, who is also an athlete identified as Iskander, and who goes by the name Kokify on social media, as the prime suspect in her murder. He is believed to have flew back to Ethiopia after killing Miss Mutua. Yes, that's a very sad story, because I don't know what is with people actually murdering their lovers.
Yeah.
There's this thing, and for another story that happened yesterday, there was a GQuat student who was attacked. Yes, in Juja, and was actually killed. But this guy was confirmed dead on arrival at a dispensary where he was taken to, and he was in an accompaniment of his girlfriend, but the girlfriend survived, but they were attacked. And the students are actually demonstrating, saying that it's not fair, whereby you come to school to learn only to end up dying, only attacked.
What happened?
I think the guy was attacked on his way back to the hostels or to his house. Yes.
But I think I don't know why that happens to students, because also when I went to school, that was an issue. That was a very big issue, and many people didn't understand why we were striking back then. But then you come to understand that this person was your friend, and they did nothing wrong. They were just attacked for nothing, and you see a bright future
for this person. Only to realize that it's sad.
And they did nothing wrong. It just happened to them. It's really sad, especially raising a child to go to campus, to the campus level. Do you know how much you have invested in this person?
And you're just waiting for maybe at least to see
something good come out of them, because you actually can see it.
These are very devastating moments, actually. I think mostly for parents, because it's sad. It's sad because that is one thing that you actually don't sit as a parent and expect that it will happen one day.
And I don't understand what is going on, because I can say it's a society problem, because if you are having this many killings these days, there's something wrong with the society. Not basically even the parents, but
the society. And I think one thing that people should know, it's actually okay to talk out to a person if you're experiencing something, if you're going through something. I think the best thing to do is talk. Find someone to talk to, find someone to confide all this information to, because it's important. Because at this point, maybe it reaches a point where you can't control yourself. I'm not maybe trying to side with these people who are doing actually these acts, but at some point you actually think maybe someone is going through a very bad mental issue, mentally, because most of it happens mentally, of which it's not a justification of whatever is happening, but it's good to find someone to talk to before it gets to us.
Yes.
It's important, actually, to find someone to talk to before it actually gets to us. Yeah.
And there's so many platforms you can use they're online, and you can check other people's stories. That is why we say don't get comfortable. See, there's so many people who have gone through that. Basically, what we say is that you might not be the first person to go through something.
Yeah.
So maybe a million other guys have gone through it.
Through the same thing. Yeah.
So be open about it. If you can, get to online and see maybe other people who have done the same thing. Visit those platforms and
seek help.
Yes.
Just generally seek help if you're going through anything. It's a sad story, and we send our condolences to the affected families and friends. It's on to our other news, and what is trending this morning is that the Kenya Power will get 6 billion to connect more customers, or also to connect power to the rural areas.
That is nice.
That's nice, but out of this 6 billion, 800 million will be coming from the government, and the rest will be from foreign sources.
So I hear foreign sources, and I'm like, is that added tax?
I think another sad thing I experienced, or I knew, or another sad news that happened is that there are prison scandals. prison scandals whereby this prison actually are given a lot of money, but now the money just disappears into thin air. Yes, so investigations by the ESCC are actually going on, and some people will be giving this information in detail after whatever they find out after their investigations. But I think it's sad because I do watch these documentaries, prison documentaries, and how these people are actually even living or even eating. They are normal human beings. They are human beings.
Yes.
Despite the fact that they made a mistake, they should not be treated as if
Yes, I understand.
they're already facing their punishment. Yes, they are already, yes, they have been confirmed guilty. Yes, they're facing their punishment, but there's some ways in which they are treated. It's not fair, and despite that, the fact that the government is providing money for these guys to be treated okay, a lot of money that people are actually gaining from what they're supposed to be fed using, or even clothes, even beddings and everything.
Even toiletries.
Yeah, and toiletries and everything. It's sad. If you get to listen to some of these stories, it's actually really sad. Yes, so that's all we have for our news this morning, and I want us to go into our topic today.
Yes.
Today we're talking about business, money. Yes, because we said agriculture is a business. Yes, today we want to talk about market structure now in the field of agriculture. And when we talk about market structure, it's a broad topic.
Yes, it is a broad topic.
We have different types of market structures that we're going to look at during the show. But I want us to venture to actually now narrow down to looking at the market structure in pre-production and production period.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and the other day we were just saying that for you as a farmer, while you're doing your own business plan, while you're doing all these things, it's actually important to start from the market going backwards.
Yes.
If you want to start to venture into anything, if you want to start planting anything, for you to be successful is by you starting from the market, going down to the market, underground, understanding how the market is like, what is happening in the market, what problem are you trying to solve, what does your consumer want,
Yes.
or whatever you're supplying, how do they want it like, how big do they want it, how small do they want it, how healthy do they want it, because this way, as narrowing back and coming backwards, you will exactly now know what am I going to plant, because in mind you know that at the end of it all, this is the type of thing that I want.
Yes.
And actually it's important for you not just to start from point A to point for now agriculture and business. You don't move the normal way, don't go ABCD, start from Z moving backwards.
Yes.
This is by going to the ground, understanding every detailed information about what your market wants and how do they want it. And by understanding this is by looking at the market structure, how it is like, how it looks like. And I want Joanne to help us understand what, because she's a professional farmer, help us to understand what is being, or what is having a market structure like, or what is the meaning of a market structure. Because when you get to understand what the meaning of a market structure is, these other things, because the market is the deal, it's the catch of
Yes,
it.
yes.
The market is the catch. Just in farming, the market is the catch, and if you're doing it for business, the market is the catch. Because farming, actually, some people do it for leisure. They actually probably don't sell their products. But now, if you're a farmer venturing into agribusiness, it's a business, and the catch is the market. When you get to understand the market, trust me, every other thing will be just a walk in the park, because it will be easy and you'll be knowing just what you want.
Yes.
Take it over.
Okay. What I would like to do is maybe read it, the actual
Definition of a market
and then
structure.
explain it. It refers to how different industries are classified, differentiated based on their degree and nature of competition for goods and services. So basically, what really is considered is the goods and services and whoever is applying them. So that is what is used to define the market structure.
Yes.
So basically that is, and the degree of what you have. Yes.
You know, with market structure, I think it's broad, and we have four
It's
different
broad, yes.
we have four different types of market structures. But understanding the definition of a market structure is just you understanding everything else.
Yes.
Because you know, with a market structure, this means that you have to understand the buyers, the sellers, the producers, and we also have intermediaries.
Yes.
Also getting to understand that. And when you get to understand that, now you actually get to understand how this structure is like your goods from you, from the farm, to your consumer, or to maybe to the manufacturer.
It's very broad, because you have to look at the type of product you have actually, the type of preference other people have of the same. So basically, it's a very broad thing, and you cannot actually define a market structure. It's really hard to actually define it. Yes.
So in market structure, you get to understand what is this thing that maybe the competition that is there in the market structure. Yes, the type of competition that is there. And when you get to understand the type of competition, you will know how to deal with it.
Yes.
And when you get to know how to deal with it, then you're good to go. Because with market structure is you being able to understand this is what I'm providing. But how many people out there are providing the same good as me?
Yes.
And how many people out there, do they actually consume this good that I'm producing? Either good or goods, or either even services. Actually, sometimes when we talk about farming, we have logistics. Those are service providers in the field of agriculture. So this service that I am offering, how many people are actually willing to consume or take this service? And how do they want the service like? And how do they want the service delivered? Yes. When you get to understand all this, you also get to understand what you are producing and how you're going to do it. And when you get to understand the market structure, you get to understand all other things in agriculture.
Basically, it's easier for you to get to the market. Yes.
Like, you know, as you said the other day, we're talking about here the journey between the goods that you have here at hand and them reaching the market. It's also another journey that you actually do undertake with a lot of risk, depending on the type of good that you're providing. And in market structures, we have different types of market structures. And I think the first one is we have perfect competition. We have perfect competition. We have monopolistic type of market structure or competition. Now, let's just put it, because in market structures, we have competitions. And now these competitions are what entails on the market structure. Because when you get to understand all this competition, you will get to know how to do it. So we have perfect competition, we have monopolistic competition, we have oligopoly and monopoly. Yes, those are the different types of market structures and also competition that you're going to look at after we come from this short break. Don't forget to continue listening in. If you're just tuning in, this is the Afarmers Hot Breakfast Show with me, Masi Kemunto.
Joan Nyambura.
Just forget to send us your TBTs. Yes, we'll be back shortly.
Melon is a trailing vine in the gourd family. The word melon can refer to either the plant or specifically to the fruit. Watermelon is a type of melon that is sweet and refreshing fruit. Watermelons can either be grown on home gardens for small-scale farmers or large-scale, depending on the market demand. You can either transplant or plant watermelon seeds directly. For best performance, plant watermelons in hot, sunny locations with loose, fertile, well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. It is best to plant watermelons on raised rows and ensure that the soil pH is between 6.0 to 6.8. On average, it takes around 3 months for a watermelon to grow from seed to mature fruit, with smaller varieties having shorter growing times than larger varieties of watermelon. Watermelon growing, if done rationally and on a scalable basis, can be a good source of income.
Pesticides can be very harmful to humans and environment if they're not properly handled. Safe handling of pesticides involves proper selection and careful handling during mixing and application. However, as useful as they are, they're inherently toxic. Here are some ways you can handle pesticides for your own safety, your farms, and the people around you.
We are looking at reduced accumulation of obsolete pest control products in the country as one. We are also looking at the associated conservation of environment and also protection, conservation of beneficial insects such as pollinators and predators, which are used to control other pests.
Before you use the pesticide, read the label and leaflet carefully. Measure the required quantity of pesticide.
You have to have adequate clean water for the mixing. Adequate meaning enough to dilute the pesticide and also enough to do the cleaning of the equipment and yourself after the application. During the mixing process, you are also supposed to be wearing your personal protective equipment or PPE, and this is to avoid exposure to the pesticides.
Applicators and handlers need to wear appropriate personal protective equipment specified on pesticide product labels by pictogram. In hot and humid climates, the wearing of additional protective clothing may be uncomfortable, and pesticides should therefore be applied during the cooler hours of the day. Care should be taken not to touch any part of the body with gloves while handling pesticides. Avoid spillage and prepare spray fluid in well-ventilated area. Do not eat, drink or smoke when handling pesticides. Check the spray equipment before use for any leakages and accurate delivery of spray solution. The nozzle should be directed to the side, away from the body. This prevents applicators walking into the spray cloud or recently sprayed foliage. Inspect equipment regularly for leaks. Leaking equipment should be repaired and the skin should be washed after any accidental contamination. While applying pesticides, be sure to follow application instructions precisely. More is not better. Unnecessary and/or incorrect application can result in exceedance of maximum residue levels, which can make the produce unmarketable.
All consumers want to eat safe food. So whenever there is an issue of what we call exceedance of pesticides, or what we call maximum residual levels of a particular pesticide, then what happens is that the market becomes very concerned because they want to assure their consumers that they are eating safe food, which basically is healthy. And then what they will do is that they are going to discontinue the supply of the products that you're exporting.
In contrast, responsible and correct pesticide use following good agricultural practices protects the crop and keeps residues within acceptable limits required for sale. Incorrect application of pesticides can damage the crops and have a negative effect on human health and the environment.
The vision is basically to ensure that we can bring as many farmers to understand the importance of safe use of pesticides, to understand the institutions that are involved in regulation of pesticides, to understand that pesticides, when used well, will support production or increase production, and more importantly, the risks associated to the environment from pesticides.
Once you've finished applying the pesticides on target crops, empty the spray tank completely after spraying. Spray any remaining spray mix on the ground of the treated crop. Triple rinse and puncture the empty pesticide containers and place this in a safe place for disposal. Ask your supplier or agro dealer about a collection scheme. Clean the spray equipment immediately after use. Decontaminate protective clothing and footwear through following proper laundering or cleaning instructions. Wash the hands and body thoroughly with soap water. A sprayed field must be marked and unauthorized entry should be prevented. In case of suspected poisoning, please refer to the label for instructions and call the Poison Center on toll-free line indicated on the label. Report the specific pesticide used. Mishandling pesticides could have adverse effects on not only plants but also humans and the environment. Proper care and instructions should be adhered to always. Farmers are advised to attend available trainings on good agricultural practices and pesticide use within their counties to ensure safety while handling pesticides. Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Celery is a marshland plant that comes from the same family as carrots and parsley. It has long, firm and pale green fibrous stalks and grows in bunches of approximately 8 to 10 centimeters. The stalks taper into leaves at the top. When planting celery, it's best to ensure that the soil is enriched with compost and with a soil pH of between 5.8 to 6.8. It is also important for celery to grow in moisture-retentive soil. Lastly but not the least, select a site that receives full and direct sunlight. Celery needs about 130 to 140 days to mature between seedling and harvest. Growing celery is generally considered to be an ultimate vegetable gardening challenge. It's easy to grow, but has very specific needs.
Welcome back to the Hot Breakfast Show with me, Masike Monto.
Joan Nyambura.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're glad that you are here up to this moment of the second part of the show.
Yes.
And don't forget to send us your TBT, and also don't forget to comment on our comment down section below on how the show is or where you're tuning in from. That is on Facebook, Afarmers Media. We're also on Instagram and Twitter at Afarmers with a Z. And also we are on LinkedIn and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. For those handles, you can see them scrolling down your screen below, or your phone, or how you're listening, you're seeing us. So they are scrolling down below, and you can follow us, DM us, and ask questions. Tell us about how your Thursday is. Tell us how your week has been, because tomorrow is Friday. Yes, you're coming to our weekend, and thank you so much for tuning in. And today we're discussing about market structure. And getting to understand the market structure is getting to understand basically anything in agriculture. Because when you get it right with the market structure, then that means you're like good to go with everything.
Yes. Not basically everything, but part of everything.
Yes. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we're discussing about market structure. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, and on how things work in a market structure, just don't stand back. Yes,
Don't
you can.
sit back also.
Don't sit back
Even
also.
sitting.
And as we say, our mantra for the breakfast show is,
Don't be a comfortable farmer.
as we said, we're not going to be comfortable
Yes.
hosts. So just sit back. We have surprises for you that are in line, and we have plans for you. So just sit back. Yes. So looking onto the market structure, we were discussing about a market structure and getting to understand what a market structure is. And actually, before that, before we look at on the 4 types of market structures that we were to discuss about, we want to look at some of the determinants in a market structure.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we have determinants that are there in a market structure. Some of the things that people actually do look at before understanding the market structure. So those are the determinant of on how the market structure is, on the type of the market structure that we actually do have. And one of it we said is
Basically, what they do, they help you understand the types of market structures. They're going to be very, they'll be very essential to actually differentiate the type of market structures. But it's going to be in different ways, but yes, we need to know the determinants of the market structure.
the market structure. And one of it that we have said is the nature of the goods that you have.
Yes.
Now this determines on, we have goods and we also have services. And despite the fact that we're talking on the field agriculture, we're going to give examples so that actually you can relate it on. Some examples are not agricultural based, yes, but just want you to get to understand on the market structures, because you might be having a good and you're not sure how even your market looks like or how it is even. And the nature of the goods and the products that you're selling, this goes or narrows down to even the size of it, even how it looks. If it's greens, how green are they? Have they started having some to yellow patches?
Yes.
You have something to say? You think that
Actually, it's basically what you've said, the nature of the goods. How does it look? Where is it coming from? How accessible is it? Basically, those things. The nature of the goods and products and services.
Yes, and the nature also goes in terms of even if it's your maize, how it is or how white is it. Even it actually narrows down on how you actually do handle your crops.
Yes.
Because with the nature of goods, it goes back to you as a farmer. How did you plant them? How did you take care of them? And how your crops come out? That's on you as a farmer. Because you had the opportunity to go to the market, understand it, how it wants it, and you coming to produce it.
Yes.
So you maybe ignoring or maybe just saying that I'm going to plant it and I know they're going to come out perfect. Maybe the kind of perfect they're going to come out is not the kind of perfect that the market wants.
Yes, in the market, the type of structure that you want for your market.
Or on the type of structure that you want or is in the market.
Yes.
And another determinant is the number of sellers.
Yes.
Now this is a broad one because I'm producing beetroots, you are producing beetroots. Like all these people are producing beetroots. Now this will determine on the type of competition that is in the market.
It also actually helps define some of the types of markets by the number of sellers. Like, is it the same product? How many sellers are producing it? How many sellers are actually bringing their products to
the market, similar products.
Yes.
And now the number of sellers actually does not affect the market because what affects the market is the demand that is in the market. We may
But
be
basically,
having,
when it comes to the types of market structures, the number of sellers is going to affect because there are certain structures that are defined, but by maybe having just one seller of a product. Yes. So basically, it's going to affect, and you're going to have a better understanding of
the market structure and how it actually look like.
Yes.
Another thing is the number of consumers. Now this goes back to the demand that is in there in the market.
That is where we have the demand.
The demand, yes. Now this is where we talk about the demand in the market.
Yes.
Now the demand in the market is the number of consumers that are actually consuming your good or your product that you have.
Yes.
And now when you get to understand the number of consumers, it also helps you understand on the amount of goods that you actually are going to produce. Yes, and also you get to understand on how these goods are going to be produced depending on the number of consumers.
Yes.
And also helps you to maximize your farm if you need more and just put in more effort if the consumers actually need more. Something like vegetables, these are an everyday commodity that actually everyone uses. So you just have to be keen and consistent in producing it and also have that impact. Just be a unique farmer. Just impact your consumer such that when you give an impact to a consumer, this means that they're going to stick by because they know that there's no such good as that of Joan. And there's no such good, maybe oranges like that Joan produces.
Yes.
Another determinant that is in there in the market, we have also the nature of the product or the services that you have. When it comes to services, we say that even in logistics as transport, branding and everything, it's just in the field of agriculture because you, in one way or another, you contribute in agriculture or in one way or another, you just, in this chain of agriculture, you just contribute. Now the nature of the services of the products that you're providing also affects the nature of the market structure that is there.
Yes.
And another determinant is also the economies of scales on how things are, how the market looks like, how the pricing is like. So these are some of just the determinants that are there in the market. Just quickly look at it. We said is we have the nature of the goods and the products, we have the number of sellers, we have the number of consumers, and the nature of the product or services that you're providing, and also the economies of scale. So these are some of the factors that affect the market structure in short.
When it comes to economies of scale, is how much can you produce and produce more with lesser cost. Yes. So basically that is where the economies of scale comes in. Because what extra unit can you produce with a lesser input of less input of cost? Yes.
Yes.
Production
So
cost.
just those are just but determinants of the market structure. And before we go on, I was actually looking some of people out here are maximizing or just using every opportunity to the maximum. So with the rains, we have farmers selling their products in the market. And the commonest market that we have, Nakwanga, Mudhurwa, Gikomba, which other market is it that you know? Wakulima markets.
Wakulima market.
Yes. So we have Gikomba, Mudhurwa, and Wakulima markets. And it's actually with this rainy season. Have you gone to Gikomba during the rainy season? You didn't even want to go back there. It is muddy. It's really muddy to the point of you feel like you're even not even motivated to go in there. You might even actually, while coming back from Gikomba, now moving to the city center, you look like you're lost. Or you're from just the farm and someone just brought you into the city and just left you there. And you're told now from here you have to walk. And someone we have business lady who have actually taken that opportunity to actually start a business. Joanne, why are you surprised?
I'm waiting for that business
for the type of business.
opportunity,
Now this lady is actually hiring out gumboots. She buys the gumboots. If you're going to Gikomba, you go hired at 30 bob. You go for 1 hour. Past at most is 2 hours. Past 1 hour you pay an extra fee.
Hey, there are so many logistics there. Na nikienda na gumboots zake.
You leave your shoes there. You leave your shoe there as
nice.
a security. Yes.
Nice.
You leave your shoe there. I think they label your shoes. Then you go.
Hey, okay. Okay, but there's still a gamble. There's still a gamble there. But anyway, it's a good business.
It's a good catch.
If you can actually be keen and manage it.
Yes.
It's a very good.
It's a very good business. Because I was actually surprised when I was reading her story. And imagine, surprisingly, so far there's no one who has gone with her gumboots. Surprisingly.
That
So
is nice.
So you can imagine, maybe she leases between 30 bob and 40 bob. You go, you get the gumboots, and then now it's a very risky, because what if just people one day decide to go with your gumboots? Because I might come with a very cheap shoe, and I see the value of my shoe and the value of this gumboot. Gumboots are more, but it will be really fishy you walking in town with gumboots.
Yeah, when you're talking about that business, I am looking at a certain market structure, as you're saying it.
Which is?
Okay, I will tell you when we get there.
When we get to that market structure, she will tell us when we get to that market structure. And this is a very good business. I was actually surprised. I didn't expect that, okay, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. Because you think of this a problem. You went to the market and understood this is the problem, and I'm going to come up with a solution that is going to pay me. So you can imagine she earns almost up to 30 bob. So you can imagine she has 30 pairs of gumboots that she hires out. She leases them at 40 bob, then pays some cleaners 10 bob to clean it, and she remains with a profit of 30 bob. So you can imagine 30 bob, 30 gumboots just in 1 hour. How much does she have? She's around 900 in 1 hour. And you can imagine with Gikomba, the market is really busy between 5:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning to around 11, 12 there. So those are around, how many hours are those?
12.
6 hours.
7 hours.
6 to 7 hours, at most 7 hours, because matope nanzanga kuishaisha, sindio? So let's say at least 6 hours, and she earns 900 per hour. So you can just take this 900 times 6 hours.
That is 54.
5,400 per day. She has paid the cleaners. This is her money in the pocket. So in a week, maybe she decides to do maybe from Monday to Saturday.
It's around 30 something.
That's a lot of money. That's a catch over there. That's a very good
in
business
1 week.
in 1 week. So you can imagine in a month she has a lot of money. Yes, that's a good catch of business. It's a creative one, actually. Yes, we want to go back to looking at the type of market structures, and the one we actually said it's perfect competition. Just want to read it for you, and we'll discuss it and on how it works. And a perfect competition.
Okay, Masi, before you read, I would actually like we differentiate all of them in terms of which one are similar to the others. Because therefore we talked about perfect competition.
We have monopoly.
Monopolistic.
Oligopoly, monopolistic, and monopoly.
Yes.
Oligopoly,
So
monopolistic, and monopoly.
yes. Perfect market and monopolistic market have
some similarities.
yes. And when it comes to oligopoly and monopoly, they are also similar. Similar.
One or another. Yes.
Yes. So basically, now we can go to the point. We can do now.
So yes,
put that point across.
for a perfect competition, these are theoretical. It is a theoretical concept. Not that it will not happen, but the chances of it happening are minimal.
Yes.
And a perfect competition is whereby all the sellers of the market are small sellers in competition with each other. There's no one big seller with any significant influence on the market. So all the farms in such a market are price takers. Like the price is determined in the market. So you just told him, you know what, for this you're going to sell it at 30 bob. So that's the constant price. And there's such an assumption that this is a reason where perfect competition market is pretty much a theoretical concept, as I just said, and the assumptions are that the products on the market are homogeneous, they are completely identical. And why we say it's a theoretical concept is because there is a way, yes, but it's in very minimal chances or in many minimal cases whereby you'll find me and Joanne have produced the same amount of tomatoes, same size, everything similar.
Yes.
The chances are, yes, the chances of it happening is there, yes, but they're very minimal of it happening,
yes,
because it's not a thing that will actually happen easily. It's not a common thing to happen. It's a very rare thing. And all farms only have the motive of profit maximization. That's true, because at the end of the day, when I go to the market, it means I have to gain the most profit. I just have to gain more profit as much as possible. In any possible way, I just have to have more profit. Even if I just have to get more profit than what I had anticipated to get, it's actually really important. Yes. And for this type of market, there is no free entry and exit from the... Oh, there is, yes. There is a free entry and exit from the market, such as there are no barriers. Like, when I say there are no barriers, I mean that there's no hindrance that is hindering you taking the goods from the market and the consumers acquiring your goods from the market. Yes. And another thing and there's no concept of consumer preference. Like,
now that is where it gets hard.
Yes.
Yes. They're actually having the homogeneous
and identical products,
yes, and having no customer preference. That is,
so we have similar products, but we don't know what the customer really wants.
Yes. So basically, when you talk about consumer preference, you mean you have your goods, your products, but then I might prefer your goods, or I might actually prefer you
as a seller.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So when you talk about perfect competition, that means I can't prefer anything. There's nothing I prefer. It's I go into the market and I go pick what I want and go home.
That's it.
That's it.
It just happens. Just I went to the market, so I'm just going to buy this commodity.
Yes.
Not that I want it as much, but not that there's a way I want it, but as long as the commodity is there,
yes,
that's good for me.
Yes. And there are so many sellers. There's a difference. There are so many sellers. We're going to talk about a certain market structure where there's only one seller.
3 to 5 sellers at most.
Or even just one person who's actually producing that product or service. But then here you have so many sellers and there's so many buyers as well. There's both actually. You have someone who's producing something at a very high. There are so many people doing it, and then there are so many people buying the same thing. You understand?
Yes.
These sellers also all hakuna yule ako like these products are we winning in my farm. Wacha niende niuze zinishie. No.
Kila mtu anataka kusell and maximize the profit.
And maximize the profit.
There's no one who's saying, but I'm going to sell this nini at a throwaway price. There's no single one.
Like I sold okay, I was growing these products for my own consumption, and then I have extra, so I want to take them to the market. I get something at least, really easy, maybe something of the sort. But then these guys, they are selling this thing to get profit, and actually good profit.
Not just profit, just good profit.
Good profit.
So
yes,
selling at a throwaway price, it's a no for them.
Yes.
Selling just for the sake of selling, it's a no for them.
It's a no for them.
Yes. So this is a certain group in the market that's or a competition that is in the market. It's a type of a market structure. that is in there in the market, of
Yes.
which it happens, yes, but the cases are minimal.
Then
It's in
there's
rare cases.
the other aspect of I might decide this month I want to sell this product. Yes. But then katikati ya the whole process I decide no, I do not want it. They start.
Just
Like
decide.
there's no one you are affecting.
At the end of the day, there's no one who's getting affected by your choice.
Yes, by
Because
your
if a
choice.
farmer who produces, let's say, number of bags of maize, alafu they decide that one day I'm not going to sell it, in a one way or another it's going to affect someone.
Yes, it's going to affect someone.
But now for this type of competition, whereby it happens, whereby if there's a commodity that I have and I decide that I'm not going to sell it, that means that
you are
I'm
allowed.
not affecting any single person in the market.
Okay, you might affect,
But
but
not as much. The impact is not as much.
Yes.
And actually the impact is not noticeable. Yes.
okay.
Yes, and another type of, another type of market structure that we have a monopolistic competition.
Yes.
Now this one is a common one. These are scenarios, these are common scenarios in the world. They do happen.
Yes.
They're realistic scenarios that actually do happen in the market.
They're actually happening.
In the market.
Yes.
And in monopolistic competition, there are still a large number of buyers as well as sellers, but they all do not sell homogeneous products. Now they sell different products. The products are similar, but all sellers slightly differentiated products.
Yes.
Now if we can give an example, I think a very good relatable example is toothpaste. Toothpaste is toothpaste, yes, but we don't have one type of toothpaste. We have different types of toothpaste with different flavors. We have just herbal, we have normal, you see, with different brands and different sellers. That's a very good example of monopolistic competition.
Yes. I want to go back a little bit. I said they are kind of similar. The perfect competition
And monopolistic competition, yes.
Well, now the scenario is we have many buyers when you have many sellers. Yes, but then the product is the same. Maybe it's the same.
And the
But
demand
then-
is there in the market still.
Yes. But then you can actually package it differently. You can actually do it differently. And there's the aspect of if a certain seller has market power. By market power, I mean is there's actually people prefer. Now there's the issue of preference. People actually prefer your product to the other one. If you go to the market, as you're saying, talking about toothpaste, there's one toothpaste where
There are different
there are different prices.
Prices,
But
yes.
the margin is little.
Very little,
Yes, but it's there.
And it's just toothpaste. It's still toothpaste. There's no difference. The toothpaste is toothpaste now. Now, whereby once someone gets to enjoy maybe the higher price, it's whereby they have a market power.
Yes.
What do I mean when I say market power? Your branding. How do you
Yes.
brand yourself out there? How do people know you? What is that one thing that you do so differently that makes you outstand any other seller like you?
Yes.
So that's what now makes you have a higher chance or a higher pricing than the rest. Because, with people, they do buy things in terms of reviews. And maybe I was told that this product is nice, so I'm going to use it because Joanne said it's good. So that's how people actually do take products. And when you have a very good brand name, when you have a good market power, this means that you get the benefit of it all. Because now you are on a slightly higher, let's say an higher place than the rest of the others because of your market power, because of how you outstand, because how you bring yourself or even how you sell yourself out to the market. It's actually now what gives you that market power.
It gives you the market power. So basically, when it comes to, maybe we can talk about a few agricultural products like crisps, potato crisps. There are so many different companies
That have crisps.
Yes.
But now there's maybe one particular one that has this market power that most people buy from. They just, at the end of the day, they are crisps.
Yes, but there are certain crisps where they have regions. there's a company which produces crepes that has ridges. They are not the normal flat. Yes.
They have a different shape. They have just like some
exactly.
ridges. Yes.
So basically, that is the same product. That is potatoes. That is.
But
crepes.
now, what is making you outstand?
Yes. Now you have the freedom to actually change what you have. Like toothpaste. We have mint. We have there are certain
Varieties.
Yes, there are certain companies which have bubbles.
Bubbles.
Toothpaste with bubbles. Yes.
Also
There's
have
herbs.
we have herbals. Yes.
Herbal toothpaste.
We have black charcoal toothpaste.
Exactly.
Now that's just what makes you actually
Now
outstand.
that gives you power because I think it's only one company that has the charcoal.
Yes, so that makes the company outstand.
Exactly. So basically,
From the rest.
yes, there's
Not just
that
do
variety
the normal
parts.
things like any other normal company.
Yes.
Makes you outstand in one way or another from just how you do it.
So basically, if you understand that part, that whole scenario where you have many buyers, many sellers, you have preference now, and you can actually it's the same product, but then you can change it, and the price can change by marginal from the different
Depending
sellers.
on your market
Yes,
power.
yes, and that is actually what we have in most markets right now. So yeah, basically that is monopolistic competition.
Another example now, going back to farmers and agriculture, we have cereals.
Yes.
We have very different types of cereal, but then at the end of the day, they are cereals. And there's maybe one thing that makes you outstand, even how you package it, how you package your cereals, and how you sell it. Because cereals are consumed by a lot of people, and cereals are cereals. We have beans, we have maybe mbaazi, we have dengu. All these are cereals that can be, if you're going to eat it with rice, you have like over 10 cereals to choose from. But now, even if it's rice, we have different types of rice. For example, we have pishori rice, we have sindano rice, we have basmati, we have all these types of rice.
But now that is a monopolistic competition because that is rice. But then
there's this one rice on how they do it.
Yes.
It outstands the rest.
Yes.
Even this type of rice that probably you can cook and you can actually even count it after it is cooked. And there's other one probably inashikana sana. So how you do it actually also affects your market power.
Yes.
And I think as a farmer, it's best to outstand. Not in a good way, but in a very unique way. You outstand in the market. In this way, you'll be able to acquire that market power. And trust me, when you do acquire the market power, then you have it.
Yes,
Everything is just here. Now in the that is in the monopolistic market. That's if you're producing a commodity that's almost identical, that's actually identical, yes, but now your market power, it's what makes you outstand the rest.
Yes, actually in monopolistic competition, market power is only gives you a very small margin. But we'll go to another competition, and you will see market power actually controls everything. Like it's the main thing.
Yes.
Yes.
So now another thing with monopolistic is that you being the seller, you are actually the one who set the price. You are now the price the price setter and not the price taker.
Yes.
Yes. You actually do tell. You're the one who decides on what price you're going to sell.
Yeah. There's a range in monopolistic. There's actually a range. Yes, that comes that the sellers come up with. Because when you talk about toothpaste, there's a certain range. Haifai kupita hapa. Na haifai kufika hapa. Basically, but then there's that one. But then because of your market power, you can actually change it from this to that, or maybe from a certain, you lower from a certain price to another price. Yeah, depending. Yes.
Yes.
But basically, what you said is right. They're the people who give the prices, but then it's kind of limited. Yes.
Yes. Before we actually do go on, want to look at the weather updates on how the weather is like, and starting off with Nairobi. It's a little bit cloudy and it will be having some sunny intervals in the better part of the day. We also have Marsabit. It's sunny with marks of up to 27 degrees. We have Nakuru. It's sunny intervals and a little bit cloudy with marks of 26 degrees. We have Eldoret that will be having sunny intervals of marks of up to 30. Did I say 30?
Yes.
With this weather, marks of up to 26 degrees. Yes, and yeah, that's on the weather updates. Want to take a short break? We have not finished on the types, which is still on the types of the how the market structure looks like, and understanding on the type of the market structure. Yes, when you get to understand it, that's the catch. These are some of the important things that we as farmers should not just overlook. These are some of the minor things that we should get to understand. Because if I'm producing cereals, I need to understand my market. And from what I just learned now is that you need to have the market power. And by having a market power, it's outstanding, doing things in your own unique way. That's the selling point now. Yes, we want to take a very short break. This is the Afarmers Hot Breakfast Show with me, Mercy Kemontong.
John Nyambura.
We'll be back shortly.
Yes.
Eggplant is a popular versatile vegetable that is glossy and purple in color. When it's cut, you will find a meaty white flesh dotted with small clusters of beige seeds. The unripe fruit is consumed as a cooked vegetable. Eggplant is a multitasker that can take on different and delicious forms. Eggplants are a great source of vitamins and minerals.
Mahindi yamekuwa chakula kikuu katika sehemu nyingi za ulimwengu na jumla ya uzalishaji wa mahindi kuliko ile ya ngano au mchele. Mbali na kuwa mahindi ni chakula, pia hutumiwa kutengeneza ethanoli, chakula cha wanyama na bidhaa zingine. Kunayo mahindi ya gume, mahindi ya ganda, yani popcorn, mahindi ya unga na mahindi matamu. Mahindi yanalimwa sana kote ulimwenguni na kiwango kikubwa cha mahindi hutolewa kila mwaka kuliko nafaka nyingine yoyote. Shamba la mahindi linaweza kutayarishwa kwa kutumia njia za kawaida au za kilimo cha uhifadhi. Kilimo cha kuhifadhi ni pamoja na kunyunyizia dawa za kuulia wadudu zilizopendekezwa na wataalamu wa kilimo. Unaweza kutumia trekta au njia ya mikono kufanya kilimo cha mahindi. Ni muhimu kuandaa ardhi mapema ya kutosha kuruhusu magugu kukauka na kuoza kabla ya kupanda.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the taproot portion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there is at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Melon is a trailing vine in the gourd family. The word melon can refer to either the plant or specifically to the fruit. Watermelon is a type of melon that is sweet and refreshing fruit. Watermelons can either be grown on home gardens for small-scale farmers or large-scale depending on the market demand. You can either transplant or plant watermelon seeds directly. For best performance, plant watermelons in hot, sunny locations with loose, fertile, well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. It is best to plant watermelons on raised rows and ensure that the soil pH is between 6.0 to 6.8. On average, it takes around 3 months for a watermelon to grow from seed to mature fruit, with smaller varieties having shorter growing times than larger varieties of watermelon. Watermelon growing, if done rationally and on a scalable basis, can be a good source of income. Agriculture is the art and science.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Hot Breakfast Show, and this is the last segment of our show.
Yes.
My name is Masike Monto.
My name is Joan Nyambura.
Thank you so much. As normal, I am the young farmer, aspiring farmer. Yes.
Professional farmer.
Oh, yes.
You almost forgot.
I didn't forget. I was waiting for you to say who you are and what you do. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're glad that you are actually here, and we're excited to have you in this breakfast show, despite us waking you early in the morning. Joanne, why are you looking at me like that? I did not wake you up, Emma. Today you woke me up. Sometimes Joan calls me and like, "Hi, you sure you're awake? And why were you talking in such a sleepy voice?" And I'm like, of course, I'm awake. Yes, so thank you so much for tuning in. This is the last segment of the show. Don't forget to comment on our comment section down below at Afarmers Media. That's on Facebook. We are live right now on both Facebook and YouTube.
We have at Afarmers with a Z underscore, Twitter and Instagram, and at Afarmers Media, LinkedIn. Then you can call us.
You can also call us. That is on 0700293031. That is 0700293031. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we were looking on market structure and getting to understand the market structure. We've looked at the determinants of a market structure, and now we are looking at the different types of market structures. We've actually looked at the perfect competition. We've looked
The perfect market.
Yes, the perfect competition market structure. Yes, we've looked at the monopolistic competition market structure, and now we want to look at oligopoly market structure. Yes, and for this one now, there are few farms.
Yes.
There are few farms like that dominate everything else. Like in this case, the buyers are far great. Like there's so many buyers, but the sellers are very few, like 3 to 5.
Wait, in the oligopoly?
Yes.
No, actually it's the opposite. There are few suppliers. There's so many buyers. What did you say?
I said there are very few, very few sellers of the products. Yes, and there's so many.
I go the opposite of it.
No, there's so many great. There's so many great buyers, but the sellers now are few.
Yes.
Like if you were to look at the ratio of buyers to sellers, it's, I don't know if we can actually even put it's like 1 to 100. Yes, and now in this, now the farms they compete with another to collaborate together.
Yes.
Now Changanya, the farms now, what depending on the service, this one basically applies for service providers. Yes.
Even products.
Even products, but they collaborate with each other, despite them being, they're not enemies really, but they're competitors. So they compete with one another to collaborate together, and they use their market influence to set the prices and in turn maximize their profits. Because we're just very minimal sellers in the market, or sellers or givers of services in the market. So we come together and set a price that we all agree on and maximize on that.
Yes.
And in this type of market structure, the consumers become the price takers. They have no option. They just have to sit back and wait for the prices to set. And there are various barriers to entry in this market, and the new farms find it difficult to establish themselves.
Yes.
There are barriers before you go to the market. Before even you establish yourself as a new buyer in the market, it will take time. And I think a very good relatable example is the network providers. For example, we have Safaricom, we have Telcom, we have Airtel. These are very minimal. But how many people use this service?
So many
people actually do use this type of service. But now you can see how many number of sellers they are. Themselves, they are sellers, yes. So they are the main dominants. They dominate all in this. They set the price. If today they come up with a price and saying from today we will be buying credit from as low as 100 bob, and they decide on that. That's what you're going to work with.
Yes.
There's no any other option to it. That's how we're going to work with it, and that's how things are going to be. So we just don't have option, we as consumers.
Yes.
And That's a common market structure, I think. Yes, because it's probably that's the relatable example that I'll have. Do you have any example in the field of agriculture?
I can say, like, the one that is coming close is milk production. You understand? They are very okay.
Up to let's say around 20 companies of milk production.
Now, the dominating ones. Basically, what it means, like, there are 3 to 5 dominating. They're dominating the sellers dominating. And how many companies dominate in the milk production?
Just a few, but you know, with milk production, I think it depends on what I want. It might be a product that is dominating, yes, but there's that one probably that I want in matters of my pocket. Maybe there's that one pocket friendly and where I am, because some of these producers, they don't reach some places, so they work with location. But now for internet service providers, they are, let's say, something global. For example, in Kenya, it's something that's happening nationally. It's everywhere, and they have to set the price that we have to work with. There's
And I
any
have
other
no
option.
issue with that. The same thing, it's happening with the milk production. Do you know why? We were buying milk at what price?
45, 50 shillings,
Exactly. Now, how much are we buying it at?
70 shillings.
Exactly.
But we have companies
We
that
have
sell
other
it
factors, yes.
65, 67, depending on the locality or where you go. Because if you're going to get it from directly from them or just near where the production is done, I think you get it at a better price. But we have now factors that affect now the pricing when it comes to logistics and branding and packaging and everything.
Yeah, basically, I was looking at the aspect of the whole companies. Now, we look at the dominating companies because, yes, you can get milk. But sisemi hii ya kibuyu and all yenye unapata kwa mkulima directly. But now we are talking about these companies.
Packed milk.
Yes, the packed milk. And I'm thinking there are specific companies that are dominating that industry. And they're the companies which are setting the pace for the price, for the price of the milk. They're the companies from the market, from the farmer, they set the price that they are going to buy the milk. Yes, basically, and that is the same price that they
sell.
Not that they're selling. The farmers cannot do anything about it. Now that is where I'm getting.
They sell at that price, and that's how the farmers will buy it.
No, the farmers are selling to that person basically. So these guys, they are setting the price. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The other one, I think it's bread. It's bread.
It's almost similar to milk.
Yes, it's bread because
you acquire wheat from the farm as a farmer.
Yes. Now,
but no, you're not
you
the
leave
price setter. You're the price
whole,
taker.
You leave the whole part of the farmer, and now it's the company. It's the company now, where the whole aspect of the company. Like, how much are they selling? Like, do they support? Are they setting the price for that commodity? Because when you go back to the wheat, you will have so many logistics. But then when you go to the company, and there are so many companies, bread companies that try getting there, but they never get there. That is the same aspect where certain companies will try to get into
there,
that
fit in that level.
Yes,
but it's a little bit challenging for them.
Exactly.
It's very difficult for them to establish themselves at that point.
Yes, the same thing with the milk industry. That is why I was saying the milk industry.
Okay,
there are so many companies that have tried
to reach in some other companies' level.
Yes, and they are not getting there because there are certain companies that are dominating. Yes.
Okay.
The same thing with bread. There are so many commodities where
we have dominating commodities. Yes. For example, dominating sellers. Even if it's soap, we have that one soap that's dominating.
Actually, you can make soap at your home, in your home, but then these companies there are companies which are dominating. Like companies za sabuni ni gani unajua sana?
Their number?
Yes, exactly. But they are dominating in that industry. Yes.
Okay, yes, and our last but not least type of market structure, we have monopoly.
Yes.
Now, monopoly, as the word just says, it's mono. Just one, there's only one seller, a single firm will control the entire market. It can set any price it wishes since it has all the market power. For monopolistic, it had some market power, but now for monopoly, it has all the market power.
Yes.
Consumers not have any alternative and must pay the price set by the seller.
Yes.
And a perfect example that is not even agriculture. I don't know how we're going to get one agricultural example because this is just one type of seller that's dominating, just one.
Yes.
And perfect example, we have Microsoft and Windows.
Yes.
That's just, it cuts globally. There's no any other person that's going to, it's either you're using Microsoft or just using Windows.
Yes.
There's no any other one in that market. Like it's just them and them alone.
Yes.
So if we were to give it an agricultural example, is there one dominating farm that's dominating the field of agriculture?
I don't think so. I've not come across one, maybe. But we'll look into it. But then
We'll look into it, but I think we have, one that we can give an example, we have seed providers. Where do farmers get seed from? But we also have very different brands of seeds.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's
basically.
not talking of seeds and talking of market structure and branding and everything. We have a very good product from Omnia, Nutriology, and today we want to look at and insist on the mega kelpie.
yes.
It's an important product. We talked about it yesterday, but we're going to do it again because of it's a planting season, yes, and we want your root structure for your crop to be perfect. And the best product to use is the Mega Kelpie from Omnia Nutriology. For more of this information on this type of product, just visit their website, that is www.omnia.com. .au.co.ke. Yes, that is their website that you can find them.
Or you can just search Omnia East Africa.
Yeah, or Omnia East Africa, and you get to find them and more information on some of the products that they usually have. Back to the monopoly. We're still trying to find examples of one dominating type of seller.
I have one in mind in Kenya, but basically, it has other competitions, a very small competition. And do you know, with having a monopoly, you have the power to actually maybe diminish your competition, or maybe make it hard for your competition to actually get to your level.
But with this, you don't have competition.
Yes, I'm talking about you actually can have competition in the monopoly. But basically the thing is, you're the one who is dominating that thing. There is no one who actually
does it the way you do it.
Yes. And one of them is KPLC.
Yes.
KPLC is dominating.
They don't have a competition, and they are only electric power providing electricity in Kenya. That's the best example.
The only competition they have is the solar, and you see
solar.
Yes, and you see the government added taxes on solar system, importing solar system. But basically the company that produces electricity,
the only service and the only seller of electricity we have is the KPLC. Now that's the best example that you can actually use.
If you need electricity in other ways, you need to actually import the solar systems. And now the government has added taxes on importing the
solar systems to the country.
So basically KPLC is the only company that can have electricity in Kenya, produce electricity in Kenya. So that is one of the examples of a monopoly. It can come close to a monopoly.
It can come close to a monopoly.
Yes.
But monopolies, I guess they can say that completely competitive markets sit at either end of the market structure extreme. However, they minimize the cost and maximize on the profit. Yes.
So if anything happens, KPLC stima zipote, what else can you do?
Just wait for KPLC and use candles.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
But
yes.
then you cannot use candles to charge your phone.
Yes, you cannot use. It's like.
Yes.
And also another example is gas. The gas providers.
Yes.
Gas is gas. You might be having different brands, but gas is gas.
Gas.
So there's no any other type of gas that you can use. Yes. So I think that's basically it for all this. And I just want to look at some of the examples that you can give. For example, for monopolistic competition examples, we have restaurants, we have hairdressers, clothing. That's just a good example of a monopolistic competition. You provide your own service. You have some market power, not all of it, but slightly a little bit of it. Then we have oligopoly. Now this happens for the network providers, the television, and such kind of things, the gas providers and everything. So we think that's all we had for looking at some of the types of the market structures and understanding their characteristics, understanding their structures, getting to know how things are done in these market structures, getting to understand them. And remember, when you get to understand your market, you get to understand how you're going to do things in your farm. You get to know how to do things differently, and you also get to understand on how to gain the market power.
Yes, and basically there are different ways of other ways of identifying which market structure it is, where we have different concepts. Maybe I can say a few, or maybe just two. We have the total revenue average, we have the average revenue, and the
marginal revenue.
Marginal revenue.
Yes.
Those three things can actually help differentiate the market structures. And maybe another day we'll actually go through them
as we look on some of the, as we actually even try to compare. But if we are to compare and actually get to understand the differences of all this, in perfect competition, the number of farms in the market are many.
Yes.
In the monopolistic competition, there are many, but lesser than perfect competition.
Yes.
In oligopoly, there are few, and in monopoly, there just one.
Yes. Basically, now you can understand why I was putting the perfect competition and the monopolistic
competition almost the same, because
almost
they're just
same.
Many but lesser than that of perfect competition.
But when you come to oligopoly and monopoly, we have
few and one. Yes. And in the product characteristics, in perfect competition, they are homogeneous.
Yes.
And they are identical. In monopolistic, they're differentiated. Same to oligopoly, but in monopoly, just single.
And that is why when you come to the current situations right now, we have more of monopolistic competition and oligopoly competition.
Yes. And looking at the barriers of entry into the market, in perfect competition there is none.
Yes.
In monopolistic it's just slight. It's almost similar to none.
Yes.
In oligopoly it's high, and monopoly is very high.
Yes.
Monopoly, because this is one. So there are ways, channels that they use for this product, this service to reach to the consumer.
Actually, the same thing with when we are talking about KPLC.
Yes.
Yes, Solar is trying to enter into that market competition, but the chances are very low.
Very minimal.
Yes.
Then we have the firm's ability to control the price. Perfect competition is none. They can't control the price. The monopolistic, slightly they can or might not.
Because of the market power?
Yes, same to oligopoly. But for monopoly, they control them. They set, they're the price setters. Yes. And examples for perfect competition that we said, we have cereals. Then for monopolistic, we have the shops, the retail shops, clothing, hairdressing, all those type of service providers. In oligopoly, we have the steel, the airlines. These are some of the seed providers, yes. And for monopoly,
but that is a very good example of oligopoly.
Yes.
Yes.
The seeds.
No, the aircraft.
The aircraft.
Yes.
Yes.
We have how many airlines in Kenya? I think
a number.
I think they are around 3 to 5.
and
Yes.
pesticides dominant. They're dominating
Yes.
for you to. It's not easy for you to be there.
Yeah, and basically, you only have to use them.
Yes.
You have no other option.
You have no other option. There's no option B. You
Yes.
just have to use them.
Actually, I think oligopoly is the better, the light skin of monopoly.
Yes.
If I can say something of the sort. It's something they preferred. It's a shock absorber of monopoly. Yes.
Yes. And the last example of monopoly, we have now water, gas, electricity. Yeah.
Yes.
That's all we had. Those are some of the examples that you can give in all these types of market structures. And as usual, at the end of it all, we have to end this show because time is not on our side, and there are other people who will be coming into the studio. We have at 11 we'll be having Diana Mdega with Shajara, and at 3 p.m. we'll be having Brian Mwenda with the Farm Drive Show.
Talking about the Farm Drive Show, there's something I learned from Farm Drive that I think we should actually apply here. So yesterday we were talking about bananas, and Brian mentioned when you eat a banana, it makes your day. You're happy the whole day.
You're happy the whole day.
You're happy the whole day. I think it will help us bring good vibes. Already we have them, but yes.
We have the good vibes, we have the good energy.
Yes.
We just want you to stick around and listen to us as you enjoy this show. If you have any question, just don't forget to DM us or even call us. And we're glad that you've stayed tuned from the beginning of the show till this moment, and we're glad that you are there. We also do appreciate you. Don't forget our daily mantra, which is don't be a comfortable farmer.
Yes.
Yes, last words.
Must there's something you're forgetting. There's a story you started.
The story I'm
You
going
want
to finish
to
another day.
leave us
And,
hanging.
the story I'm going to finish it another day.
Aye, okay.
Yes.
Okay, it's
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
We will work with that. But basically today we had a very good topic and a very enlightening topic because not actually many farmers know about the market structure, and I think it's something that we need to understand and know about before we even, as you said, we are going backwards.
You start from the market going backwards.
Yes,
This
yes.
way, it's
So,
very helpful.
So if you understand the kind of product that you have and how you can actually maximize on it, and maybe if it's not working for you, maybe you can look for maybe another product that will give you maximum profits and less competition.
Yes. Thank you so much, Joanne. Thank you for that. And we are glad that you are here. And one last word today, and sadly enough, we have to end this show.
Yes.
The one last word is don't forget to tune in every single morning from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. You'll just be seeing us here with this type of energy, and each and every single day is a learning day. And here at Afarmers Media, we do tell the story of a farmer, a story every single day. And this way you get to learn and attain profits. This has been the Hot Breakfast Show. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Bye.